watching baseball tonight is presented by T-Mobile. Arrowhead Stadium on the left, and of course Kauffman Stadium on the right. And the 40,000 that have been squeezed in here are now enjoying highlights of last year's World Series on the big screen. And they are about to see, as you do now, the World Series trophy right behind home plate. And shortly they will raise the banner to go alongside the one that is now laying limp against the flag that says 1985 World Series champions. You get chills being here.
Right, and that flagpole is between number 10, which was Dick Hauser's number, and number 5, of course, the greatest Royal ever, George Brett.
Right.
The 2015.
All right, let's listen to what the fans here in Kansas City are listening to as well, as they will soon raise the banner in celebration of last year's World Series title.
19 years respectively, and both were injured in the October 2015 fire that took the lives of fire apparatus operator Larry Leggio and firefighter John Mesh. Please welcome firefighter Dan Werner and fire apparatus operator and paramedic Chris Anderson. As they look to rejoin the fire department, we the Royals look to embark on another season. All right, Dan and Chris, let's raise that banner. Stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the Kansas City Royals organization in a moment of silence in honor of all those who have given their lives in service for our nation. Thank you. At this time, we request that you please remove your hats and place your right hand over your heart, or render a salute if you're a veteran of the United States military, as we pay respect to our flag and country and honor America with the performance of our national anthem by the lead singer of the multi-platinum selling band American Authors, Zach Barnett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Coverage of our national anthem was presented by USAA. Ceremonial first pitch, and the first pitch of our first Sunday night game is coming up when we come back.
A World Series rematch on opening night?
Strike three called. The Royals are the champions of baseball.
Could it get any better? Mets Royals, tonight at 8:30 on ESPN.
This is Racing to the Rim. This is your game. Cavs, Pacers at 7. Rockets, Mavs at 9:30. Wednesday on ESPN.
Baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown is presented by T-Mobile. T-Mobile has doubled its LTE coverage since 2015. Just a couple of seconds ago, our ceremonial first pitch thrown out by that little girl who got a hug from the Royals closer, Wade Davis. And that was the ball that has traveled through 2,500 different hands on its way from Union Station here to Kauffman Stadium. You were clapping.
It was great. This whole scene is great.
Mets and the Royals about 5 minutes from now. We'll send it up to Dan, Aaron, and Jess. But it's amazing to be in an environment like this and know that on any given night that the Mets are playing, they have a pitcher that can kind of silence the noise in here, like Matt Harvey.
Well, you hear all of this, you feel all of this energy, and if you're the New York Mets, one guy out of that entire staff, you want to have the attitude to come in here and say, this is all for me, and I'm going to shut this whole thing down. It's Matt Harvey, and you want to see him take that attitude out.
Dallas, you pitched opening night in Anaheim once for the A's. What was it like going to the mound on an opening night when this is even bigger than that?
I tell you what, the call-up, coming to the big leagues, that lets you know you're there. But when you get to experience an opening day against some of the greatest players in the world, with some of the greatest players on your team in the world, that's when you realize that boyhood dream and you say to yourself, I've made it.
And there's so much to be said for the experiences that these teams have had. The Royals have played in the World Series. The Mets have played in the World Series. A lot of times opening night can get a little overwhelming, but when you have those experiences, it makes these moments, you have the ability to control them a little bit.
Right now, both managers told me about an hour ago that we can't wait for this to be over, because they've been talking so much about last year, because these two teams played the last game of last year. What they all want to do is start to look ahead to this season, and they can't do it until all the pregame stuff is over.
And what's nice is the Kansas City Royals, we watched them last year right before our very eyes learn how to win that important game, if you will, and here the New York Mets set ready to take note of that, and they're ready to make 2016 the Royals 2015.
So going into this game and going into the season, you assume the Mets are going to pitch really well, especially their starters. The bridge to familia is something that they're concerned about. And from the Royals, as they deal with Matt Harvey tonight, same approach, which is to be very aggressive at the plate, get on base and try to move around. Swing and miss if you have to. Don't take many walks. There's not a lot that's going to change.
Right. The same formula is in place for the Royals. They catch it better than anyone. They pitch out of the bullpen better than anyone. They put the ball in play better than anyone. And again, they're so different than the other teams. That's why they're so hard to match up against.
And as much no-hit, swing and miss stuff that all the Mets starters have, Edinson Volquez, when he's right, is a swing and miss pitcher as good as there is in baseball.
You're absolutely right, Carl. We have seen a slight decline in the strikeouts and an uptick in the walk rate, but you're absolutely on point when you say when Eddie and Sal behind the plate are on the same page, that is a battery that is fully charged.
Just a second ago, Kendrys Morales gets his Silver Slugger Award. surrounded by the general manager, Dayton Moore, and of course, Ned Yost, the manager.
Right, Dayton Moore never gets enough credit for being as patient as he was.
Right.
They wanted to run him out of town, and he stayed with the plan, and this is the end result.
And he's been, of course, part of other franchises that had to be patient. The Atlanta Braves come to mind. Ned Yost and Dayton Moore go back a long way together. And I mentioned they had one winning year from 94 to 13. What other city allows that to happen? What other owner allows that to happen?
Well, only a city like this where they've experienced greatness before and knew that great players were on the way. It just took a little bit longer than anybody thought.
Yeah, and in a perfect world, they arrive at the same time and they all play to their abilities. Now the question is going to be, can those guys take another step further? Can they elevate their game? Defensively, they're as good as any in baseball. They're about to give out the 3 Gold Glove Awards, one to Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, and Alcides Escobar. Their Gold Gloves on the back of that truck.
And as a pitcher, let me tell you both right now, you love to see this kind of ceremony because there's guys slapping the leather left and right out there behind you.
How about Salvador Perez, who, remember, every image of him during the postseason and World Series was shaking his hand, his leg was hurting, his back was hurting. It took till January until he felt good again.
He's a guy you figured you might have to roll him out there in a wheelchair, but nonetheless, he was going to roll out there.
Carl, just look around this place. It's packed. Everyone's dressed in blue. This is what opening night as a defending champion is all about.
All right, well, we are about to send it up to our booth, and as we do, you guys should move out of the way because that Gold Glove truck is rolling right in your direction. We have enjoyed all we've seen so far today, and now it is time to enjoy what we all expect to be loud, the Royals house.
And welcome to Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City. What a night for the Royals and their fans. This is opening night baseball on ESPN, presented by Scott's. Hard to believe it was about 5 months ago that the Kansas City Royals won their second World Series championship tonight. On opening night, ironically, coincidentally, with the Mets in town again, they raised the banner in honor of that 2015 World Series championship. By a quirk of the schedule, look who's playing each other here on opening night. The New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals. It seems like not that long ago they were meeting in October and into the early November, but here they are in April on opening night. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Kansas City. Dan Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone. Glad you're with us here on opening night. The Royals fans are pumped up again, just as they were last year. Such a great run for them through the regular season and the postseason. Jess, they were just not to be denied.
Dan, every team on opening day, too, they're going to show up and they want to win the World Series. But for the Kansas City Royals, they want to do something that a team hasn't done in 16 years, and that is repeat. They have the nucleus of this team together, and who they are is still intact. And what is this team? This is a team that doesn't strike out. They understand, study, they research, they know how they practice on the base paths, they understand the situation. All of this was put together in one play in the World Series last year. Game 5, Eric Hosmer. Right here, Salvador Perez does not strike out. He puts the ball in play. It might have been weakly, but it's to David Wright. Watch Eric Hosmer at third base. He knows his defense. He's not the fastest guy, but he takes a risk because he knows where he's at on the base paths. David Wright makes a throw to Lucas Duda, and because they know their defense, they had a game plan to run and make this Mets team throw. This throw gets thrown away because of how they play the game, how they practice all year. This play right here epitomizes exactly who the Kansas Royals are.
And just a few minutes before that play was when Matt Harvey earned the right or talked his way to come back out for the ninth inning. He had been brilliant through 8, could not get an out, faced 2 batters in the ninth. But now, 5 months later, Terry Collins deciding who his ace, who he wants his opening night starter to be, and once again, it's the dark night on the mound for the Mets.
Yeah, and remember, guys, last year at this time, he was coming back from Tommy John surgery, and the question was, how was he going to be? Was he going to be the dominant young pitcher he showed early in his career? He passed with flying colors. He absolutely was. But in the second half of the season, the innings limit came up, and it started to be a question. He would eventually put that aside and be a big reason why they got to the World Series. But that innings limit, if he's going to go and take the next step as an ace pitcher, he needs to climb that up over the 200-inning mark this year.
And about a week ago, every single Met fan held his or her breath because Matt Harvey had what appeared to be a bit of a medical scare. For more on that, let's go down to Buster Olney.
Yeah, Dan, a week ago, Matt Harvey turned 27, and the next day he was found to have a blood clot in his bladder. And once he passed that, doctors told the Mets that he would be okay to start on opening day, although Mets manager Terry Collins did express some unknown about how he's going to react to the medication he's been taking when he starts tonight. Collins has been concerned about a World Series hangover, which is why he held a team meeting here on Saturday and told his players, whether it's physical or mental, you got to get past it because everything starts now. Dan, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you. On the mound for the Royals tonight, the guy who was on the mound opposing Matt Harvey in Game 5 of the World Series 5 months ago, Edinson Volquez draws the opening night honor for the Kansas City Royals. Quite a scene already in this ballpark tonight, and the game hasn't even begun because the World Series trophy was officially presented to the Royals here in Kansas City tonight. They celebrated like crazy at the end of last season. They're trying to start a new run tonight.